Hello guys, my name is Balkrishna Shivastav and welcome to Code with BK. So in this video, we see how dynamic array of integers is created using malloc in C programming. So before we begin, it's a request to please subscribe to my channel. So if any of my previous videos or if this video has actually helped you, so please subscribe to my channel for more such videos. Okay. So in this series, we started with pointers. We understood what are pointers. We understood what are array pointers, how array pointers actually work, how memory is allocated behind the scenes, and how array pointer points to the first location of the allocated memory so that we can access the remaining locations as well. Then we saw how malloc works. Malloc is used for memory allocation during runtime of the program. Okay, and in this case, we see how to create a dynamic array of integers, basically create an array of integers using malloc. Okay. So basically when we do something like this, if I have int arr1, okay, that has say 5 values 23, 41, 56, 89 and 100. Okay, when we do this, I've explained it in the previous videos as well. You get this array in the memory as something like this. For example, this is memory. Okay, you are having 5 integers. Okay, 1 2 3 4 5 integers. So you get memory enough to hold 5 integers. You don't have to calculate it. You just get memory enough. Key point is you get one memory block, one single chunk of one single strip of memory block enough to hold 5 integers. All right, 1 2 3 4 5 integers. The values populated are 23, 41, 56, 89 and 100. Okay, this variable arr1, okay, is of type int pointer that I explained in array pointers. It is an int pointer, so it will store an address of where an integer is stored. Okay, so the address it stores is the first address of the first location of this array, which is say, let's say if this is addr1, okay, address of first location of this array. Okay, so this pointer, the value it stores is addr1. Variables of type integer pointers are also variables with value. So the variable name is arr1. Okay, the value it holds is an address, and it is the address of the first location of this array. So this is pointing to the first location of this array, and that's why we can get the second, third, fourth location, fifth location, so on. I've explained this. Okay, now why am I telling this? Because if we create now an array dynamically, I say int arr2, if it appears that I'm sweating a lot, it is because all the windows are all closed and the fan is all closed. We don't have air conditioning in Bangalore. We usually don't, right? And it's very humid. Okay, so I hope you're able to look beyond that. Okay, we say int arr2 is int pointer. Okay, we use malloc. Okay, how many integers do we need? We need 5 integers. Okay, and we saw, okay, that malloc will give you one single memory block, okay, of the amount of memory that you have passed inside, which is we want 5 integers. When you do this, you again get a memory. Okay, how much memory do you need to hold 5 integers? So size of int is going to give you 4 into 5, 20. So you get one single chunk of 20 bytes. Okay, so this is to store 5 integers. Okay, right now we don't have any values on it. Okay, and malloc does not initialize memory. Okay, so whatever garbage values, previous values are still there. Okay, so you get memory enough to store 5 integers, and the return type of malloc is a void pointer. Void pointer, you think of void pointers as just a memory chunk, a memory block. Okay, that has an address. Okay, obviously it's a memory block, so that will have an address, which we are casting into an int pointer to indicate we want to store integers. Okay, arr2 is now a variable. Okay, since it is an integer pointer. Okay, it will contain an address. The address that it contains, since we casted it from the return value of malloc, it contains the address where this memory chunk has been allocated. Okay, so if this address is addr2, the value this pointer stores is addr2, so it is a pointer to this location. Okay, we don't know what values are there inside, because memory enough to store 5 integers, but we haven't actually placed integers inside that. There are some garbage values inside that we don't know. Okay, all right. So when you do this line, you get something like this. You get a memory block enough to store the number of integers, the memory that you have requested for the number of integers, which is 5 in this case, and you store the location of this memory into this arr2. So this arr2 variable is a pointer to this memory location, okay, to this array. Okay, now you can use this array the same way you can use ARR1, because if you see, this structure and this structure remains the same. Okay, so I have used the same memory, visually same memory in this case, but this goes into, since this is inside a function, this goes into stack memory. Okay, and this goes into heap memory. All dynamic allocation goes into heap memory. Okay, this is just for knowledge, don't get confused. I showed it like this so that you can compare the array creation like this compared to this dynamic array creation. Okay, all right, so if I print value at ARR1 first location, so I'll say printf value at index 0 in ARR1 is %d \n ARR1 at index 0. Okay, and I print the value of index 1 in ARR2. Okay, I have no idea what value I'll get for 0 index in ARR2 because it is some garbage value. Malloc does not initialize memory. Okay, file and run this. Okay, value at AR is 0. Okay, and this is 23. Okay, because the first location has 23. For all the other values for this ARR1 is going to be fine. 1 and 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, clear, compile and run. Okay, it is right now 0, but there is no guarantee that they are going to be zeros because Malloc does not initialize. So if you look at the man pages of Malloc, okay, allocates byte size of memory, it returns a pointer to the allocated memory, okay, which we are storing as int pointers. So think of void pointers, the return type as memory block with a location. Okay, returns a pointer to allocated memory. Calloc basically initializes the memory with byte values 0. Okay, Malloc does not initialize. Okay, all right. Okay, so in this case you don't have to worry about freeing the memory, okay, because you are consuming the memory when you are creating an array here. Okay, you're also consuming memory when you're creating the array dynamically here. In this case, when you use Malloc, you have to free the memory. So free the memory after you use it. Okay, so you say free and the name of the pointer that points to this memory location ARR2. Okay, and generally we do ARR2 equal to null. So we generally do this, even if you don't, that's okay, and we'll go into details about why we do this, why we don't do this in the later videos. Okay, so now we run this. Okay, so you see there is no difference in the output when we did free and we did when in the previous case when we were not freeing the memory. Okay, when you don't free the memory, what happens is you have this dynamic memory allocation, right? Okay, when the program ends, okay, this variable is lost, this AR2 is lost, this memory still remains. In that case, we have something called memory leaks. Okay, memory leak occurs if the dynamically allocated memory is not freed. Okay, you should also free them. And there is one more thing that I mentioned in Malloc was if ARR2 equal to null, that is in case dynamic memory allocation fails. There may be a case that you don't have any more memory left on the heap memory. The return value is a null pointer. Okay, it is not a pointer to memory because it cannot allocate memory, right? It says I'll return null. So in this case, you can say printf mem allocation failed. Okay, this will not happen for us because we are just creating a dynamic array of say 5 integers. Okay, so you'll never get this. Okay, if you want to check this, let's just make this okay, memory allocation failed. Okay, and you get a seg fault because you are trying to assess these values. So usually you will see code constructs like this. Okay, that if memory allocation failed, I'm not doing anything with the array. If the memory allocation did not fail, that is if the mem allocation was successful. Okay, you do whatever you want to do with this array. We are just printing the values which are initially there. So GCC, and now you see mem allocation failed. Okay, because this amount of memory is not available on the heap. Okay, even if you do 50, you should be okay. All right, and then you can treat this dynamically allocated array. You can set the values the same way. You can say ARR2 of 0. I'll set the same values. I'll say 23. Okay, 0. Okay, or let's just make me something else. Okay, now when I print these, okay, you will see these values are set. Okay, okay, so you get 30, 100, 37, 41, 90. So basically you said now my 5 values are 30, 100, 37, 41 and 90. Okay, and you don't have to worry about how the block is divided into 5 integers and how is it stored. No, you just if you understand this array, okay, and if you understand how array pointers work, you use the array pointer the same way. You can dereference the same way. You can say, okay, value at ARR2, okay, I can say value at ARR2 plus 1, the way I showed you in array pointers. Okay, value at ARR plus 1, value at ARR2 plus 2, value at ARR3 2 plus 3, value at ARR2 plus 4. Okay, so now when I compile and run this, I get the same output. Okay, let me just add a change in line here. Printf change in line GCC. Okay, so you see 30, 100, 31, 37, 41, 90. Okay, using dereferencing. Okay, so just as you can dereference an array pointer when you create an array like this, okay, you can dereference the array pointer when you create an array dynamically. And then you can set the values as well. You can say, if you want to change the value at say the second location, which is index 1, okay, say maybe 300. So now the value at index 1 is now 300. Okay, so bottom line for you is you need to use this code for dynamic memory allocation. We usually have something like int n equal to 50, okay, contains whatever the size of the array you want, and we do this. Okay, so this is what you need to remember for dynamic memory allocation. You pass the size of the array that you want to create with the size of the size of int for integer array, for size of float, double for the other array kind, and it should be the same type of pointer. For double, it should be a double pointer, casting it to a double pointer. This casting is important. Okay, and this is something that you will not need for the kind of problems that you need to solve. There may be a case that you're working on a project where you get constructs like this. That would be the case where there is a chance of running out of heap memory. But for you people, you don't need to do this check. Usually you don't. Okay, and then you can use this array pointer the same way you use regular arrays. Okay, set the value, get the value, and then dereferencing the value using as pointers. Okay. Okay, one more thing is you can do ARR2 equal to ARR1. Okay, when we do this, okay, I am saying ARR2 equal to ARR1. It means ARR1 has this value address 1, AR2 equal to AR1, this will now store ADDR1. So rather than pointing to this is going to point to this. Okay, now again we have a situation what we call memory leak, because to this chunk of memory that was dynamically allocated, there is no reference to this. There is no pointer to this. There is no way you can use this memory, and you have not even freed this memory. Okay, so this is another case of memory leak. So mem leak happens. Now you will say that I'm using free ARR2. When you say free ARR2, you are not freeing this memory ADDR2. You are saying free ADDR1, which cannot be freed, so you'll get an error. Okay, so let me just show you. Okay, so you see pointer being freed was not allocated because you are trying to free this array. This was not dynamically allocated. So what the other way it would work is that you free the memory and then you set AR2 to AR1. This is totally fine. Okay, you are saying in this case that this stays ADDR2. Okay, you say free this memory. Okay, so free the pointer to this memory. This is no more pointing to this. Free the pointer to this memory. So this is taken by the given back to the heap. Then you say AR2 is equal to null. Then you say this becomes null. Okay, and that's why it is recommended that you set this to null, because AR2 is still storing the address of this location where the memory has been freed. Okay, when you set it to null, it just goes null. Okay, and then you say AR2 equal to AR1. So AR2 is now ADDR1 and it is pointing to this. Okay, this is okay. You will not get any errors in this case. It will all run fine. Okay, so you should also have an idea about how to move array pointers. Okay, so memory leak occurs if you do something like this. Okay, that I explained, that you are making your ARR2 point to the ARR1. So there is no more reference left to the dynamically allocated memory. And then this is just not allowed. Okay, you cannot do this because this ARR2, which is pointing to ARR1, which is this array, was not allocated dynamically. Okay, so we do this here. Okay, all right, one more thing is you can do ARR2 equal to ARR1, but if you remember, you cannot do ARR1 equal to ARR2. Okay, you cannot reset the ARR1 pointer to some other pointer. Okay, if you do this, if I do ARR2, this is no more memory leak now. This is memory leak here. Okay, okay. Right, when I say ARR1 equal to ARR2, this is not allowed. Okay, you see, you get an error. You will not be able to compile this. Okay, because array type is int5. And if you have watched my array pointers video, okay, this is an integer pointer, but its type is int or whatever be the size. Okay, it is an int pointer, but it can only point to this array that it was given when you did something like this. Okay, that's what it says in the output as well. Okay, so you cannot reset this variable, this array pointer that was used to create an array. Okay, this way. All right, and again, if you want to create a dynamic array of doubles, so we can do the same idea. Okay, I'll say we need a double pointer, size of double, we need n integers, double. I'll say ARR3 because ARR2 is, this variable name is already taken, and then I'll say free ARR3, and that should be totally fine. Okay, so you'll not get any errors. You just created dynamic memory and then we just freed it. We did not do anything with that memory. Okay, and the n value here is 50, very less, so this ARR3 is not null, so that's okay as well. Okay, so if you want to print values at this location, you can say ARR3. I'll change a line as well. I get warnings because this %d is a format specifier for an int and I'm trying to print a double, so I just need to make it to long float lf, which is the format specifier for double. Okay, whoa, yep, compile and run. So we have all zeros. Okay, so again, when you do this, you get memory enough. Okay, again, this is heap memory. Dynamic memory allocation is heap memory to store n doubles. Okay, and what is the value of n? N is 50 here. N equal to 50, you get memory for 50 doubles. One single chunk of memory, that is the key. You get one single chunk of memory. That's why we are able to assess ith index of the array in constant time. I've explained this in my previous videos as well. Okay, so you get another variable. If this address is addr3 goes into a variable ARR3, which is of type double pointer and is pointing to the first location of this array. All right, so this is what is dynamic memory allocation for 1D array. Okay, we took an example of integers, and you need to remember this. Okay, and then you can remember this diagram to compare the array that we create like this, okay, compared to the dynamic memory allocation. The idea remains the same. We need one single chunk of memory to store the whatever number of integers we want and a pointer to it. Okay, so when you create array like this, you get a pointer to the first location. When you create an array dynamically, you get a pointer to the first location because we are casting the pointer to int pointer type. Okay, and I hope this was clear. Just remember the important things. Okay, and you should have an idea of what dynamic memory allocation is, how the array pointers that we are using here, how they work, what you can equate to, what you cannot equate to. Okay, so you can use the same variable to create a dynamic array and then free it and then create dynamic array again. We see examples in the later videos on how we do this. Okay, so I hope this video was helpful and you like this video. So if there is any doubt, there's a part you don't understand, please let me know in the comments. I always try to answer all the comments, and you can also let me in the comments if there's a question you want to solve or there's a concept you want to discuss. So please like this video, subscribe to my channel, and thank you for watching.